Just me and my lap dog. Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be answering all your questions about my wedding that's coming up. I asked you guys on Instagram what questions you had for me about my wedding, and so we're just going to answer them together. I'm about 3 almost 4 months into wedding planning. Loving every second of it. I have literally dreamed of this day my entire life, so I'm really thriving. All right, someone asked, what's something traditional you will not be doing at your wedding? And someone else said, what's something non-traditional that you guys are doing for your wedding? One traditional thing we're not doing is a father-daughter dance because I don't have a father. If you don't know, my mom had my sister and I through IVF, which is in vitro fertilization, so I had a sperm donor. Don't have a dad. I could definitely do a father-daughter dance with one of my father figures in my life, but I actually instead decided that I want to do a mother-daughter dance and like a mother-sister dance because they're so important to me. I think that's such a special way to give a tribute to them, and I'm really excited to do that. Trying to think of something non-traditional we're doing at our wedding. I guess that is non-traditional. I'm really not sure of something non-traditional that we're doing at our wedding. My answer is kind of 2 birds, 1 stone because traditionally you have a father-daughter dance, which I'm not doing, but then non-traditionally I'm doing a mother-daughter dance. We're still doing a mother of the groom and a groom dance. Are you planning to go on a honeymoon? Yes, just eventually because we're getting married in October of 2025, which is 2 months into my first year of grad school. So can't really afford to miss school to go on a honeymoon at that time. And then we have winter break, but I don't like to be gone for the holidays. So I don't think we're gonna do anything over winter break. So realistically, if we go on a trip, it won't be until like a year from now. But I would prefer it that way because we're paying for our wedding. So don't really have the extra funds to put aside for the honeymoon. And I want a nice honeymoon. So I would rather wait and have a nicer honeymoon than just go on one to say we did it right after our wedding and just spend $1,000 and wish I would have just saved that to put towards an actual nice honeymoon. Are you shocked by the prices? Want to have a big wedding with everything, but so scared too because of money? Yes and no. Unfortunately, prices for wedding stuff is probably only gonna go up. So by the time you get married, it's probably gonna be even more expensive than whenever I was getting married. I was shocked by, I guess I actually was shocked. Because I had been planning this wedding for John and I like long before we were ever engaged, like literally probably a year into dating. And I was like, we're gonna stick to under 10 grand. And my mom was like, girlfriend, you're probably gonna need to double that. And I was like, no mom, I've literally looked into everything, you're wrong. So my mom was in fact right. 10K was my budget. It's probably gonna be closer to 20. And I'm only having 75 people at my wedding. So yeah, it's definitely very, very expensive. Guest count is something that we decided we would rather have a smaller wedding that has more expensive things than a wedding where we can invite every single person we know and spend $40,000. I would rather buy a house, you know? I was really surprised by venue prices because I'm really lucky. I think my venue is actually priced really well. It's not like super cheap, but it's all inclusive, and for everything it includes, I didn't find a venue for a better price, and it's literally beautiful. But some venues I looked at were literally $8,000 or $9,000, and all it included was the venue. Nothing else. I cannot stomach spending that much money just to rent a space. That's insane. I was also shocked by prices for videographers. I looked for so many videographers before I found who we're going with, and I totally get, especially as someone who does like video type stuff. I mean, it's an expensive thing, and I think that it's probably worth all the money they're charging. But dude, some people, it's literally like 3 to 6K for wedding video. That is not even close to how much we spent on ours, and I think that it's gonna be so beautiful. But oh my goodness, it's crazy. I know that our wedding video is gonna be something I wanna watch every single year on our wedding anniversary. And I have always wanted a wedding video, especially so that we have like our vows and our speeches forever recorded somewhere. But that did shock me. So start saving, girlfriend. Start saving. Thank God I was saving way before we got engaged because that's the only reason we can get married young. Are you nervous at all? If so, what about? I literally adore you both together. Well, thank you so much. I'm like nervous in an excited way. I will say I do have stress wedding dreams, which I think I'm just an anxious person about things. So there's 2 stress dreams that I keep having in relation to wedding. The first one is that I get violently ill randomly on my wedding day. I literally haven't had the flu since 6th grade. Knock on wood. I get a cold every once in a while, but a cold doesn't slow me down. But I'm just afraid that I'm gonna get like food poisoning or something the night before my wedding for some reason. So I need to know. I don't claim that, I rebuke it. I don't want that to happen, but I keep thinking it's gonna. And then the other one is that I run behind, which running late isn't actually the biggest deal. Because I mean, the wedding revolves around you. So if I'm late, it's just gonna start a little later. But I am a very type A timeline, everything. Like I have to be on time, and I'm so worried because there's so many moving parts that it's gonna just keep getting pushed back. But I think we'll actually be fine. My other worry, and I've talked about this on TikTok before, is this weird, almost FOMO post-wedding depression thing. I'm just so worried that my wedding is gonna be over and I'm gonna wanna go back and relive it more than anything, and there's nothing I can do to do that. And I know it's so first world problems, but I felt that way after I got engaged and after I got my wedding dress, where I was just like, okay, but I just wasn't in the moment enough. I just like didn't enjoy it enough. I didn't soak it in enough. And so I'm trying to figure out how can I make sure I'm like literally soaking in every possible second at my wedding, which is impossible. So I don't need to waste my time worrying about it, but I do. So that's probably what I'm nervous about. I think it'll be fine though. I just have to keep reminding myself that the wedding is actually not even close to the most important part. It's the marriage that's important. And we're gonna be married much longer than our wedding day is gonna be. So that's what I keep reminding myself. How to budget. I kind of already touched on this, but you gotta be saving like before you're even engaged if you wanna get married relatively earlier on in your engagement. We're having a 9-month-long engagement, which I think is like the perfect amount of time for us. But if you're paying for your own wedding and you don't start planning for it or saving for it until after you're engaged and you're paying for it yourself, your engagement is probably gonna have to be pretty long so you can make the payments and afford to pay for the wedding you want. So just start saving. I think I was saving like 20% of my paycheck my freshman year of college. So I was 18 saving money for my wedding. My other tip is to not overexert yourself for a wedding. You're probably just gonna have to cut back on things that you wanted. If you don't have the money for a videographer, don't try to make ends meet to get a videographer. Just tell people to record everything on their phones or get a cheap $200 camcorder and have people pass it around. And it's not gonna be like a whole cinematic thing, but you still have the memories recorded somewhere. There's a lot of ways to DIY things that you want without having to spend an arm and a leg on it. So save money, start now. Don't overextend yourself to pay for a wedding. Not the most important thing, that's for sure. How did you make it easy to decide who you did and didn't want to invite to your wedding? I think it was easy because John and I don't have that many friends. We both have relatively large families, so the bulk of our wedding invite list is actually our family members. So we were really able to invite almost everyone without having to pick and choose who was invited and who was not invited. But if you're struggling with that because you have a lot of friends and you have big families, I would say just don't worry about it. You could also just invite your immediate nuclear family and literally not worry about it, because your family members who don't get invited the next time they see you probably aren't going to come up to you and be like, why didn't you invite me to your wedding? Maybe they'll say that with their nuclear family, but they're not saying it to you, so don't worry about it. The other thing is only giving specific people +1s. We haven't told people who are getting their +1s yet, but whenever we send out our formal wedding invitations, I'm gonna make a note like, please don't bring a +1 unless we explicitly tell you you can, or something like that, because I don't want a bunch of people at my wedding that I've literally never even met. I'm so sorry, but I'm not gonna pay for you to have a dinner and for you to have a chair and like all of this money when I've never had a conversation with you in my life, and I'm not really gonna feel bad about it either. Are you wearing a veil? I don't have a veil yet. I go back in June for my wedding dress, like try on my wedding dress fitting, and we're gonna try veils and accessories on then. But I know for a fact I'll be getting a veil. I don't know what kind. John wants me to have a blusher veil really bad. I think he's just always imagined a veil being something that you like pull back behind someone's head. So I think I'll do some type of a blusher veil for him, but I don't know what length. Like, I don't know, cathedral, fingertip, anything like that. I'm just gonna have to see what looks good with my dress. Definitely will be doing a veil though. So excited. Okay, someone said, what are you and John each most excited for your wedding? And someone else said, what are you most excited about for your wedding? So I actually asked John this last night, and our answers were the same but opposite. And he was like, I'm the most excited to see you walk down the aisle and just like to see what you look like. And I'm most excited to say my vows. And mine was, I'm the most excited to see your reaction when I walk down the aisle and to say our vows. I'm also really excited to just dance all night with my friends, but those two things are the pinnacle of what I'm most excited for. I genuinely cannot wait to see this man when I walk down the aisle. I get butterflies thinking about it. It's gonna be so special. Is John doing a lot of the planning? Honestly, no. Not at all, and it's not because he doesn't want to help. No, I would not say he's doing a lot of the planning. Really, all of the planning he does is me saying, hey, I need you to do this for me, and then he does it. It's not because he doesn't want to, it's just he doesn't know on his own like what he should be doing, which I think is fine, because I'm kind of a control freak. So I would rather hold the reins in this arena and then know that I trust him. If I delegate him something, he'll do it. I think the only things John has really done thus far in wedding planning is he helped me wax seal all of our save the dates, which took us like literally 2 hours. And he got all of the addresses for his side of the fam and his friends for our save the dates in like a super timely manner. I thought I was gonna have to text them, but he was like, no, I got it. I'll get their addresses. But pretty much everything I run by him, I'm just like, hey, I think I wanna do this. What do you think? Hey, I think we're gonna do this. What do you think? Whenever we were looking for a videographer, he was helping me with that. We were going through people's Instagrams and YouTubes together. Whenever we were looking for a venue, I found our venue and I was like, hey, they're having an open house this day, let's go. He was like, okay. But when we were actually at the venue, he was asking a lot of really good questions that were good considerations. So it's not like he's just there doing nothing, but I'm definitely leading the way on this one, and I think he's okay with that, and I'm also okay with that. Do you have a theme you're doing for the floral aspect of your wedding? Not really. I don't know. This is a question I didn't realize I was gonna get asked a lot when I was planning a wedding, but whenever I went to try on wedding dresses, when you book the appointment, they'll ask you, describe the theme of your wedding in 3 words. And I'm like, I have no idea. But what I've been saying to them is romantic, vintage, is that it? Romantic vintage vibes is what we're going for. For florals, I'm going to be doing a few real florals. One of my family friends has done flowers for weddings before, and she's like, I'm gonna pay for $500 of florals for your wedding. And I was like, yes, queen, thank you. That would be awesome. But then I'm also gonna be doing like silk fake floral wedding flower rentals for the majority of our wedding florals. And we're doing, well, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna make videos when I get samples and all of that. But I think for like where I'm wanting florals, I want them like on the sides of the pews of me walking down the aisle. I want a few up at the altar next to John and I. And then I want like centerpieces for the tables, bridesmaid bouquets, bridal bouquets, boutonnieres, but overall not like super, super florals. I want them a little bit everywhere, but not a lot. But I don't know about a wedding theme for florals. Like I don't have specific types of flowers I want to use. For my bridal bouquet, actually what I really want is just all white peonies with a light blue ribbon wrapped around the stems. But in October in Oklahoma, I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to get white peonies, but that would be my dream. I love peonies, those are my favorite flowers, so I would love that. What's your favorite part of planning so far? I think my favorite thing was wedding dress shopping, which I don't know if that counts as planning, but I would go back and relive that day. I would probably rather relive that day than my engagement. It was so fun, and genuinely I felt like a princess. My inner child was thrilled, so that was just my favorite part so far probably. But I don't know, lots of it is fun. I really just enjoy the whole process. I'm so grateful for my sister who was like always sending me ideas, and my mom. It's like every time I hang out with my sister and my mom, we talk about wedding planning, and it's just fun and never gets old to me. I'm running out of battery, I need to speed this up. Well, that works out. I think I only have one more. I screenshotted these like shortly after I posted them, so I think I missed some questions people asked, but this is the last one I have a screenshot of. What are your wedding colors? Congratulations, so excited for all the wedding content. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're enjoying the wedding content. My colors are like blue and whites and creams. Basically all of the blue toile stuff you see me wearing, that's the color scheme I'm going for. So I think my bridesmaids are gonna be wearing like different shades of blue. His groomsmen, I think, are gonna be in tan. I think he's gonna be in some type of a blue suit. I can't decide. I think maybe for tablecloths, we're gonna do white tablecloths, light blue runners, or potentially blue toile tablecloths, but that's a little bit more expensive. Our venue includes the cost of tablecloths and linens, but only if it's polyester. And the rental company has some blue toile tablecloths, but they're not polyester, so that'll depend on how much extra it is. But yeah, blues, creams, whites, basically like my bedspread, all the PJs I wear, those are the vibes we're going for. Well, those are all the questions that I had. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's almost 9 a.m. right now. And like I said, it's super rainy, but I'm actually about to go get my nails done. So I was like, let me record this early so I can get to the nail salon early because it's a Saturday and it's gonna be busy. But yeah, thanks for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. And comment down below if you have any more questions and I'll try to answer them. Love you. Bye.